Look at Sister Sister Live, like our page, send us a DM, or just join in all the exciting interactions that happen there. Our community is growing, and we're totally thrilled. The superstar sister, Gail, is in-house. What's going on, Gail? Good to see you. Today, you're not wearing a mask.
Yes,
so it's nice to see your whole face. You can't talk well. I know. COVID makes it, a little difficult.
I know, right? Good to see you as
Indeed.
well.
How has your week been since we last met?
It was okay. It was okay. Like, nothing strange happened. How should I call it? I'm extroverted introvert, if I can say that.
All right.
Yeah.
So almost like a sanguine and a melancholic as well.
I wonder, because I thought I was choleric. So
oh, that's interesting.
I don't know which.
We'll talk about that as we go along. But thanks for making time.
Thanks for
having me. And of course, we have our sisters in the house as well. Olivia, what's going on, Liv?
Hello. I'm good.
Yeah, you're looking radiant.
Excited as usual. Oh, thank you.
What's the secret?
So are you. Oh my goodness, you look amazing, and I'm loving your whole style and your.
I borrowed my boyfriend's tie, and he likes it. So.
You're rocking it too.
Keep
at it. Keep on.
Rosina, how are you doing?
This thing, borrow your boyfriend's tie. Tomorrow you'll be in the news.
I know. Observers are worried.
I'm telling you. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
I miss you.
I know. I miss you too.
It's
actually,
been too long.
It has been. It has been.
Yes.
But you and I were connected, right?
I know, right? I know, right?
Yeah.
And hey, Olivia has been doing things so in my absence.
Give me. I didn't tell you.
My emails,
recipes.
Messages. What is the recipe? Hey. No comments.
True, Charlie. Olivia is a superstar right now, but it's all well and good. Thanks for joining us, Rosie, and it's really good to see you. So let's get right into action. No long tin. First message we'll treat tonight says, "Hello, Jess. I'm a 49-year-old, separated, and a mother of two grown-ups, a 25-year-old and a 21-year-old. Now, my daughter's the eldest and has been married for 3 years. I have no grandchildren yet, and I'm already about to give my kids a third brother or sister. Jess, I'm 4 months pregnant, and my children do not know. They don't even know I'm seeing someone. I've been involved with this cute 38-year-old lawyer, and I think things are moving too fast. No, he's not my lawyer. I have a lawyer for my legal issues, but this guy is security. He is honesty. He's transparency. Jess, he's my comfort and my safety. To be honest, I've never experienced anything like it. And it's not like I'm some rich sugar mummy for him to be taking advantage of. He's well established. He has given me a key to his house. He calls me, he texts me, he checks on me 1,000,000 times a day. He empathizes with my past fears and struggles with my husband. I've reason to finally file for a divorce. My husband is in a relationship with his girlfriend, reason for our separation. Yet our children want us back together. How do I break the news to my children about the pregnancy? Or should I just keep it to myself? Whew, this sounds like a movie. So she's obviously still married, they're separated, so she's technically still married. Husband has a girlfriend, reason why they separated.
Still with her.
And now she's met a 38-year-old lawyer and is pregnant for him for 4 months. And has 2 adult children, 25, 21.
Yeah.
Gil, over to you.
but her kids know she's no more with her husband, even though
they're trying to get them together
officially, but they're no more together. So it's not like she's doing what the father did. Like let's say he cheated. But I won't say the woman is doing that because. But
they're separated, so technically she's still married, no?
Well. At the end of the day, see, her kids, they're not kids. They're not like 2 and 3 and 4. They are adults. I'm sure they've had their own relationships as well.
One is married,
So, mommy, I always say that sometimes we forget that our parents are also human beings. First of all, like she said, she went through hell with their father. I mean, it's nice to want your parents to always be together because that's what kids want. but they forget to know that the parents also have their own struggles. Sometimes they hide it from us.
Sure.
But then it gets to a point where now it's glaring, everybody can see. So obviously the parents cannot be together anymore. So when you start having your own relationships, you now get to understand what your parents also go through. When you're younger, you don't know. They don't even show you when they fight and stuff. So you think that's what I used to think.
Right.
Until I started dating, I realized that you had to forgive a lot, compromise a lot. So then it should make you be a bit more understanding towards your mom.
Right.
But if she says she wants to hide a pregnancy, you can't hide pregnancy.
Nope.
No. Eventually it will come out. So I understand why she wants to, put them first, but she should know that she's also a human being. The kids are going to start having their own. One is already having their own life. The next one is going to. She might be alone.
Right.
So if she's found somebody and she's old enough to know what she has is a good thing, because she had a bad thing before and it's working well for her. I mean, she should be able to just sit them down and tell them, and they should be able to understand that she's a person as well. She, she needs, her business to be taken care of, if you know what I mean. Like
she got needs.
She got needs, exactly. So they should understand from that point that she also needs to be happy. If she makes a mistake, fine. I mean, it happens. So
right.
I think it shouldn't be that difficult.
She also asked whether she should keep it. The pregnancy.
That's what she's worried about, keeping it or telling them. Oh. If she says she's serious about the guy seems serious. That's what she's saying. Like, he ticks all her boxes, well, for now. And if she says she's not that rich, but if she's financially sound and the guy is also okay and they feel like they're a team and they're partners in this whole thing, she should keep it.
The age doesn't matter to you? 49, he's 38?
I don't have a problem. I'm a very open-minded person. I'm sure you realize that. So I don't care if the woman is older or what, as long as we're clicking.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the age thing is so archaic, So if they click,
that's it.
You should go for it.
Okay.
Go for it, yeah.
Olivia, let me come to you. What do you think?
This one is very dicey, okay, but it's not beyond you. This is what I think. I think that first things first. This is such an amazing opportunity to just officially divorce your husband. But before that, I'm wondering how the guy feels. Does the guy you're in a relationship with know that you're pregnant? And what is his whole mood towards the entire news? Does he look like somebody who is excited about the pregnancy? Has he given you the assurance that he wants to be with you full time? Like, he wants to take your relationship to the next level? What have both of you decided on? What do both of you want? Do you see what I mean? So that you don't go ahead of yourself. But because you guys have been separated for the longest time, I wish that you had sort of, gone through the divorce procedures with your husband and sort of cut all ties before getting into this relationship. But clearly that didn't happen. So if I were you, I'll just check exactly where you're at with this guy in this relationship. And then that would be able to help you make an informed decision. With regards to your children, okay, I think that this is going to be too much for them. As much as they're older, you know how children sort of put their parents in the box, they expect their parents to behave in a certain way and all of that. But then again, you're human and you also have a heart. And technically, it was your husband who decided to go all naughty and decided to cheat on you, and the reason for your separation. So this is what I think. I think that you should break the news gradually to your children. You can't tell them, okay, I'm in a relationship and I'm pregnant, and it will be too much. I think that you should take time in terms of, okay, you should separate the duration within which you tell them. So I think first things first, you can slowly tell them that, oh, okay, based on how things went with your father, you don't see yourself ever coming back to him. You've been able to live by yourself independently. You can't see yourself going back to him, and you don't love your father anymore. So, you have your whole life ahead, and you just feel that this is the right time for you to tell them that you're in a relationship. Okay, so tell them that you're in a relationship and then see how they sort of take it. Afterwards, well, as things progress, you can also tell them that, now you're actually pregnant. The thing is, however you want to look at it, your children are a part of your life. I don't think that you should abort it, especially because this guy actually does care about you. He hasn't given you any reason to doubt him. He's been there for you 24/7, and he's actually made you feel loved. And you've never felt like that before, okay? Because it's a good thing. So I don't think it's a lost case. I just think how you handle it is what matters at this particular time. So tell your kids and just run with it. After you tell them, it's also very important to know how the guy feels, because then if you're not on the same page as the guy and then you tell them, like, I'm just wondering how it's all going, is it going to backfire? What's going to happen? So you also have to be selfish about your happiness. It's been a long time coming. You didn't ask for your for your husband to do what he did, but it is what it is. You don't see yourself going back to him anytime soon. So tell them, keep the baby and have a happy life with this man, but just do things the right way. Just do whatever that needs to be done, especially before the baby is born. You see what I mean? So have that conversation too with the man. Make sure that your feet is grounded in the relationship that you're in, so that, when you're even having that conversation with your children, you know what you're standing on, or you know that, okay, this guy has definitely got your back. But if the relationship is sort of lukewarm and the guy is like trying to sort of have a fun time with you, then it's like, Charlie, where are you at? So first things first, know what you're doing with this guy. Get the 110% approval, especially like in your mind, and then tell your kids. But just space the timing out. That's what I think. So that, at least they know that you're in a relationship. And I mean, you're not smiling at this man 24/7. No. So, Charlie, they need to understand. And you'll be fine.
All right. Rosina, coming to you.
Okay. So, first things first, the age isn't really a problem. And secondly, her children are 25 and 21. And luckily for her, the eldest is 25 and has also been married for 3 years. So I'm sure, being a married woman herself, should have probably encountered one or two things in her own marriage for her to understand some of the things that you may be dealing with now. So I just want to add to what the sisters have said, that I would advise that she takes it up with her first daughter first. Being the fact that she's also a lady, and then come clean with her. Of course, you and their father have been separated for a while. You're not even living together or anything. So it's not like the children are unaware about what is happening between the two of you. We just hope that the two of you will come back together and reconcile. But this is the case. The man is also living his own life with another woman. So clearly, you can't be left alone in the dark. The man is not paying attention to you. The man is also busily hurting himself somewhere. You are separated, heading for divorce. So honestly speaking, I think that you should just start talking to your children that, look, it's quite disappointing. I waited a long time. I was hoping that we could sort our differences out and live together as a family. However, XYZ, explain it to them, let them understand it. Now, when they understand it, in the beginning, they might go like, oh no, mommy, why? It would have worked the last time. But after some time, they would understand, because they are human, especially the older girl. And then you can move to the 21-year-old boy and then try and work it out. The 21-year-old boy is the one you probably have an issue with, because he's going to think that 21 and 38, no. I mean, this man is not old enough to be my dad and all of that. But it depends on how you treat him and how you explain things to him. And honestly speaking, if the issues exist such that you are separated, the children are not dumb. They know exactly what is going on. They just wish their family was a unit. But if their father is living with a different woman, I'm sure they know. It won't be news to them.
Yeah.
Now, the third thing about the dating. Now, when you are not available, when I'm saying not available, as in you are still legally married and you are dating somebody else, it's very easy for the person to tick your boxes.
Sure.
Because it doesn't come with that added pressure of marry me, be with me. You see, the person comes in and the person knows that I really like this girl. She's a really nice person. The husband is taking her through some terrible times. I really love her. I click with her and everything. but that hard decision to probably want to settle and stuff like that, it's possible that this other lawyer guy has not really thought about it. But for him, you are a good person. You're a good heart. He enjoys being with you, and he enjoys spending time with you. You also, and the way you describe him, is your safety net, is your this, is your that. I mean, I could imagine the kind of relationship you have. A lot of talking, he understands you, he allows you to vent. But the moment you become official, he might not be all of that to you.
Yeah.
The honeymoon phase would have been over. So that's what you need to really consider, that where is the guy at? Is he at a place where he wants to go the long haul with you, or is just friends with benefits? Or what exactly, where is he at? So if he's at a place where he really wants to see the long haul with you, then you know where you are headed, like Olivia said. But if he enjoys your time, he likes you, he likes spending time with you. However, he doesn't have in mind a picture of you and him married, raising a family, probably having stepkids who are almost as old as he is. That thought probably hasn't even sunk in yet, because he's probably thinking that, oh, Mami Weni, they are separated. That's what is giving him the conscience to be with you.
Right.
However, you're not divorced. So as far as he's concerned, you're not really available for that talk. That's one. And then secondly, if you are even available with him, the question still rings that, is there going to be that part in his head that whilst you were legally still married to your husband and there were issues, you were dating me, enough. All these things are discussions for later, but now let's forget about that one. Now about the child. You see, sometimes we women, we need to own what happens to us and deal with the consequences. Now, that child was made out of love. The child didn't ask to be made. You were genuinely happy and excited to be with him, and that's why that happened, even though it was done in the wrong setting. The question is that, do you want the child? That's the question you need to answer. And you're 49 years old. Clear it with your gynecologist. If it's safe for you, considering your medical conditions, to have the child. If you can have that child medically, and you yourself now you want the child, honestly speaking, it doesn't really matter whether the man wants it or not. It's about whether the man is ready to step out to the task as a father. So not whether the man wants to, whether the man would marry you and be in the setting of a family or not. If the man is ready to play the father role for the child, be it that you've been married, gone through the whole grind, you've been separated for so long, maybe you might not even want marriage to begin with. But if the man is able to step up to the task, is financially sound, you yourself, you also have some money, I mean, really, that's a decision that both of you should take. But by all means, like Olivia said, run it by him and let him know that you are pregnant and the way forward, whether you guys want to keep it and whether you guys want to have it. But please don't jump to another marriage because you are pregnant. Jump into it sensibly, right, because you really want it. So all in all, age isn't a matter. You and your husband, you're already done. There's nothing that can bring you back together. And once you started jumping into another man's age, then that means that the possibility of you coming back is almost non-existent. Your kids are old. They would understand. Even when even if they are angry in the beginning, they would understand. You understand? And then it's just a matter of time. The thing is, the most important thing now here is be sure where you are at with this gentleman. Make sure you're on the same wavelength. Otherwise, you might get a shock when you finish the divorce and you think, okay, now the divorce is finished, I'm available, let's get together, let's get married. And then he's going to say things like, oh, I wasn't really prepared for this, and I wasn't ready to get married now to raise kids and all of that. And then you send us another message and say that the guy lied to you the whole time and pretended he really liked you. But at the end, yeah.
Yeah. And you know, Rosina, of all the things that you've said, like what really stands out for me is the fact that it's easy to feel like this other person you're not married to who's in your life is the best thing that's ever happened to you. And it's also because you're not living with them and you're not seeing like all those petty things that would ordinarily irk you if it was coming from your husband. That's so profound for me. It's a common case of the grass is greener elsewhere sort of thing, you know. But yeah, that's definitely something she needs to look at. But I mean, like all the ladies have said, you know, you're 49, you're no child. But for me, also check to see if it's healthy for you to have a baby at that age, you know. I know some women have done it, but just look at, because we all know your complications could get even, or the risks get higher, you know, as you wait that longer to have kids. So check it first. If it's not going to put your life in danger, then maybe you should just have it. What's the worst that could happen? Your husband's moved on anyway, you know, and then get the divorce done, so at least you can move on properly with this new guy. We wish you the best of luck. This is Sister Sister on City TV and City FM. Your comments are welcome. 054-998-6996. We'll go for a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Just not ready yet. I want to wait a little before getting pregnant again.
Stop worrying and live free. No matter who you are, Lydia has a contraceptive just for you. Choose the Lydia Daily Contraceptive Pill with iron as your regular contraceptive, or the Lydia IUD, a non-hormonal contraceptive for long-term pregnancy prevention. Contact the Lydia Contact Center and let us help you decide how to live free. With Lydia, you truly decide.
Hello, viewers. I'm feeling very frustrated and bored in Sambulai. I'm very happy. If you don't understand, don't worry, because myself, I don't understand. In this edition, Vodafone Ghana has now make it possible to send money from Vodafone Cash to all network free. You cross over to our senior reporter for more details.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm standing in front downtown. You know, I'm learning to make a blog. I'm not funny as you said. Vodafone, I'm not quite set. Emily Dutopia, Echo all the network. I will check up there.
Fifia, Matendo says, don't you put charges, Manome? Joe, you bro, charges on your womb, at the harmonium. A beer says, do the ha, charges of Clondine. Canning and you may fairly no near. He said, Namanika, charges, no charges. I met G, Naka charges, when we know, Mania Cafe, BP, or honey food of oh,
for me, I do a lot of online transactions. I think I see it. See, the excitement for me is that I get to save a lot on Vodafone Cash.
Please put me down.
I'm so excited. I can now send money to all networks without any charges.
Me ye jadiniba. A BBS says me chia me juma ye fokan. Sika me chia se charges no. And do so do. Nanso say dear. Me the Vodafone Cash.
Sending money on Vodafone Cash to all networks is now free. Send any amount of money as many times as you like to all networks for free. Dial *110 hash now to send money.
Any amount for Masumo. Studio 2. Put him in car. And yeah, Muso Mame.
This is the red news. Apologize.
The future is exciting. Ready?
Welcome back, Sister Sister, City TV, City FM, live across Africa, DSTV channel 363. All right, so message here says, hello, sisters. I'm in utter shock as I send this message. I recently found out that basically the most absurd thing ever. I've been married to my husband for 3 years, and I'm 7 months pregnant. He's a businessman. I'm a nurse. My brother-in-law lives with us because he schools in Accra, while their parents live in Kumasi. Last week, I wasn't feeling too well, so I decided to come home early, around 4 p.m., to get some rest. When I entered the living room, I could hear loud music from my brother-in-law's room. I decided to go tell him to turn the volume down as he was disturbing and it was evening. Sisters, I received the shock of my life. My husband was having sex with his own younger brother. I screamed, Jesus Christ. Immediately my legs became weak. I was shattered. I just could not believe my eyes. When my husband saw me, he quickly got up and started begging for forgiveness. After further confrontation, I found out that they used to be sexually involved when they were really young, and their parents took them to a pastor for deliverance. They stopped afterwards, but it seems to have started again. His parents have come to plead with me to forgive their son and not tell anyone about it. I respect his parents a lot, but I can't just understand why a man will sleep with his own brother. How is this possible, sisters? I have been restless since then. Should I leave this marriage? What about our unborn child? Rosina, I'm going to throw this one to you to deal with.
This is too much.
Heavy.
This is really heavy. Very, very heavy.
Are you there, Rosie?
Sad. Okay. I mean, what could you do? I mean, so you've been living with this person for 3 years, and if you see two brothers hanging out, chatting and laughing, nothing would occur to you that there's something horrible going on. I'm surprised you didn't lose the baby on sight. Because even if it was a man and even a friend in book that you trust, or maybe a friend that you thought was a family friend in book, you see the way it would hit? But to have that kind of, and you know what, I don't get it. So if his parents were aware, why are the two brothers, knowing that there's a history, why were the two brothers made to stay in the same house?
I mean, they say he's going to school in Accra, parents are in Kumasi, kind of thing. No other place but to live with family.
Yeah, to live with, but can't you rent a place for him? Can't you get somewhere so he can stay on his own and do, you see, I honestly don't know what to do. Because I don't, what word is this called? Like the act, what is it called?
Sodomy?
Yeah, like sort of like your own incest. That's
an
what
incest,
I mean.
okay.
Yeah, an incest, like your own brother. I mean, it's so difficult to deal with. And there's going to be trust issues in the house from now on. Now, she's going to question every time that she's seen them together, laughing, happy. Maybe anytime the man walked out from the brother's room, so hold on, did you just go and do another one? I mean, the questions, the interrogations, they are going to go on. And if it's something that happened when they were children, and they took them for deliverance, they should have taken them for psychotherapy when they were kids, not for deliverance. Do you understand? Because some of these things, you don't know why they are doing this. I'm not even talking about the fact that, it's two men. I'm talking about the fact that it's your brother. Let's put that conversation aside. Why would you want to have sexual relations with your sibling? It's morally wrong.
Yeah.
It is not right. You see, it is not right to have sexual intimacy with your sibling. Now, so if you see that happening, the parents, why don't you take them for proper therapy? And I'm sure because they didn't have proper therapy, and normally what deliverance does is that sometimes, aside the whole hey baba, they tend to put a lot of fear in you. If you do this, you are going to hell. If you do this, you are doing this. So if they come back and they try it again, and they realize that actually, it's been 15 years, so they said we're going to go to hell. You still haven't gotten to hell. Then it becomes normal. But when you go for psychotherapy, and maybe they try and go into your cognitive to decipher why you will think that your sibling is a good sexual intimate partner, then maybe this would have been corrected from birth. But as it is now, he didn't send in the messages, the woman.
Right.
This is heavy.
It is.
You need to ask yourself a lot of questions. And I think that you yourself need to go for some form of therapy. You need to offload this information to a professional who would listen to you and then give you guidance as to what you do, depending on the kind of person you are, your health, the state of your health, your love language, your temperament, and all of that. Because all of that matters into how you're going to deal with this. Whether it's something you can forgive is also another thing. Whether it's something you want to live with, knowing that it could happen anytime, any day. If these things started happening when they were children, and this is the brother, you can't say he should unbrother him. Unlike an ex that you can say that I don't want this ex in your life. This brother is family meetings. He is there. Maybe he was even the best man for your wedding. You don't even know. You understand? Yeah. So all I'm saying is that you can't ask your husband to unbrother him. He's a brother. There's nothing you can do about it. So all I'll say is that weigh the options and know what to do. And the child, like we all keep saying that sometimes children don't ask for some of these things, but there's a very good reason why you were gifted that child by being pregnant. So if the child is, you can look after the child, take care of the child, even if you were to be single. I think that 7 months is way too far to think of terminating the child, because at 7 months, if you give birth to the child right now, the child will live. So that's a full human being you're actually killing. It's not just the initial stages. So in my opinion, once the pregnancy has gone for 7 months, I beg you don't touch the pregnancy, because normally when you touch pregnancy at that stage, if there are medical complications, they tend to be very serious.
Right.
Even though you may have a successful one, but they tend to be serious. So please don't touch the baby. Have the baby if you can take care of the baby. See a psychologist to help you deal through this process, because I don't think that any of us here is qualified to give you the step-by-step things, because this is horrid. I can't imagine, what I would do if I saw something like this.
Probably collapse. Probably collapse. Yeah.
I'll collapse, probably run out, probably not, I don't know. The fact that she even stayed there to interrogate her, she's strong.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, Gail, let me come to you.
You always do this to me.
Yeah.
I think the guy's gay. That's what I think.
Yeah, maybe secretly and married her just to cover up.
For me, I don't have a problem if someone is gay. That's their choice. I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite and judge someone for their sexual preference. That's his business. But what I don't like is when people have to, because of society and religion and all of that, they have to hide in the closet and then use an innocent person, to cover up their acts. So first of all, they don't have a marriage. It began on a whole lie. She's been married to herself. It's a big lie, because I know a lot of gay people who, because of the stigma and all of that, they are forced to marry and buy into what society, says is the accepted norm, man to, woman kind of thing. But whether we like it or not, there are people who have their different sexual preferences. We have people who are transgenders and whatnot. Everybody is free to do whatever they want to do, as long as you're an adult and you are doing it in your bedroom. I don't think people should attack people for that. So the mistake he did, first of all, was to marry her knowing that he's not a straight man. That was a mistake he did, because he put an innocent person in that setting. No, she wanted to be with a straight guy, so she's bought into that, she's committed to that. And you were, in a different space, and she didn't know about that. So that's a whole lie. So how can you call that a marriage?
Right.
So first off, I don't think you have a marriage. So for me, you don't even have to be there. You can't deal with that. And then secondly, you have to deal with the cheating. He was cheating on you, whoever it is, with whoever is besides the point, but he was cheating. You have to deal with that. Trust has been broken. And then there's incest involved. And it's not even with a woman. It's with a man.
And
then your brother. So there's incest and all of that. You can't tell me you still want to be in there. You can't tell me that. No, because obviously, if they said they prayed for them, now that's where I come in with the religious thing. Because if the prayer alone is supposed to take care of everything in this world, then whatever they did to them should have ended. But I don't think they stopped.
Right.
I think they've been doing it for a long time until she caught them. And why should his parents come in to beg, don't tell anybody? Every time they do that, somebody is suffering mentally. And you say, they always care about what someone thinks. So they knew that. They hid it from her, and it's like they set her up and used her. That's not cool. So for me, I don't think she should be in there. She should just move away from that environment, keep her baby. The father can be responsible for the kid without having to be with you.
Right.
He can still be responsible.
Right.
Then to handle his issue, he has to deal with his brother and sort out their issue. Because if he wants to be gay, I don't think he should be with his brother.
Right.
There's something that went on when they were kids. Nobody knows. He could have been abused, or something. And so sometimes that's how you buy even another man or something. So then my brother is there. Let me try it on him. Or they were doing this mamini papa thing, and then it escalated into that. So that thing is there. So if he wants to deal with that, that's his problem about separating from his brother. And then if he feels he's a gay guy, he should just own it. Because at least when you're bi, you know that if I'm bi, if I'm with a woman, I'm with a woman. If I'm with a guy, I'm with a guy. But obviously, I see him to be a gay guy. Like, he's not even bi. He's, like, totally gay. So he should deal with that.
Okay.
See, that's what I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Olivia, I mean, what do you think? Gil thinks he's just gay.
That's what I think.
Covering up.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Okay.
He's gay. He's definitely gay, and it's going to be difficult for him, for anybody to sort of take him out of the habits that he's built over time. And I mean, he's been in intimate sessions with his brother for God knows how long. We all don't know when it started, but clearly it started years ago. And the parents were very desperate. They didn't know what to do. So the immediate thing they think about is, pray for me, and their children need deliverance. But that's the thing. See, I always say that, you see, there's nothing wrong with prayer. There's nothing wrong with deliverance. What do you do after? Okay, if, yes, you've gone for deliverance, did they decide to go to the hospital to give them therapy? What did the parents do to ensure that the two brothers don't go back doing the same thing? You can't just go for deliverance and say, okay, that's it. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with prayer for me, and there's nothing wrong with deliverance. You need to do other things as well to be able to, use your common sense as well. God gave all of us wisdom, so shall I use it? Don't this whole pray for me thing. I don't know. I believe in praying myself and sorting things out myself as well. I mean, but then again, there are rare occasions or peculiar situations. But moving on from that point, I mean, these stories are real. Okay, if I in times like this, I wish I was in the studio with Rosie and Tina and like all of you, because the next thing I'm going to say is I actually know.
Well, do you?
I do. Wow. I do. I kid you not. So I kid you not.
Yes, can you permit me to laugh?
Go ahead and laugh.
So same story, believe it or not, his wife came home to the same incident. Okay, she was livid. She told the guy, got the family involved, told the guy that, Charlie, today should be the first and last time this is ever going to happen. And she was so upset. I mean, called family and they spoke to this guy. Okay, I mean, recently even, have you met the guy, and the guy that he was cheating, not the married guy, the other guy. Right. And the guy was complaining that, oh, Charlie, I've been calling this guy. He doesn't pick my calls up, or I don't know what I've done to him. Really? I haven't knew why he wasn't picking the calls, but he didn't say anything. And we kind of laughed about it, but that's just by the by. But for me, I'm Alekoson. Touch root, God forbid, I will not stay in a marriage like that. Okay, I will not stay in a marriage like that, because I don't see where it's going. Not only do you have to deal with the fact that, women as it is, we're jealous of other women. Now men out there. When this guy goes to work, it's other men. So if he's not doing this with his brother and another man decides to tempt him, what's going to happen? As long as it's he's gay. So even if he didn't cheat on you with his brother, he would have decided to cheat on you with somebody else, and he could have been in a hotel. He would have cheated on you with the brother in a hotel.
Assuming that hasn't already happened.
Exactly. So everything is a messed up situation. Clearly deliverance didn't work. Clearly, I don't know what kind of mental thing, is going to help. But the parents know. That's a sad thing. The parents knew about it, and so they're living a life.
But they prayed about it. They delivered him from the forces of darkness.
They delivered him, but you see, that's the thing. It's not enough. You see, it's good to pray, but it's not enough. Do other things. After deliverance, go and check. Go to the hospital and make sure that, Charlie, after the deliverance, give me proof that, yes, the deliverance is working. Okay?
How will you
and
prove
live
that?
a righteous life. Do all the things that you need to do.
Okay.
To live a righteous life so that you don't include, like, worsen the situation, open up yourself for all sorts of things to get into you, and you worsen the situation. As much as you should pray, you should also use common sense. That's what I think. So, sweetheart, honestly, I mean, be out of that relationship. I don't think that you should be married to this guy. I don't think it's worth it. If you don't have a forgiving heart. This other story I was telling you about, the guy stopped because he genuinely repented. But this guy, he's been there and come back home, and now it's his brother. And the good thing is that at least you caught him now. Can you imagine that you had grown up in this marriage, had your children, and had a son? How many years down the line, this same brother will be calling your son to come and sit on my lap? So, like, what would have happened? Like me, I'm thinking about the bigger picture. Charlie, it would have been crazy. Now, not only would your son be involved, you have to do, like, it would have been terrible. Sweetheart, yes, like Rosie said, you don't know why you were gifted with this child. Not everybody is able to have children. And you don't know what blessing this child is going to be to you. If you are okay, Masa, take this child, you know, be there for the child and do whatever it is that you need to do. And if by all means the guy, you can get the guy to also support you, by all means let him support you. But have the life and have a fresh start. You can always have a fresh start. So don't give up. Don't go back into this relationship, because I feel it's toxic. I feel there's no point. And the parents need to deal with their own mess, because now it's times two. Right. They're brothers. And you don't know what the other brother is also going to be doing to somebody else's children. So rather tell the parents that they need to sort this thing out, forget about this whole deliverance, and do something about their children. Even the parents need therapy, because it's bad. This cycle can't continue, because there's too many lives to be affected here.
Right.
Yeah? So, but definitely you don't stay in the marriage.
Yeah, not to belabor the point. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Before you come in, I just wanted to state that when it comes to sexuality, somebody can be bisexual and exhibit symptoms like this. It's not only for gay people, because Gail made mention of the fact that if you're bisexual, you're with a man one time, you're with a woman another time. The whole agenda of sticking to one person has to do with faithfulness. If you are faithful to your partner, you don't cheat on your partner. But the fact that you are bi, or the fact that you are bi, doesn't mean that if you want to cheat on your partner, you can cheat on your partner with only girls. Then that's what makes you straight. So the issue, that's why I said I didn't want to tackle the sexuality bit.
Right.
I wanted to tackle the cheating bit and the fact that it was with the sibling. You understand?
Yeah.
Because there are so many bisexuals. So the fact that the woman didn't feel less loved by him, it means that he probably doesn't really have a problem being with women too.
Right.
But he probably just wants to have a taste of men too. You understand? That's what needs to be corrected. And this is where the test of, the true test of their love will stand. Like Olivia said, in her case, this man valued the marriage that he had, the woman that he had, so much so that it was enough to push him to stop that other agenda. You understand? So maybe if the value that he places on the wife is so high, maybe he'll go for proper therapy this time around and hopefully things will be corrected. But the parents' influence, we should look at it very well, because if the parents know this, it didn't come as a surprise to them and they are begging not to tell anybody, they should be the first people to be mad and decide to send the children for further deliverance or for more counseling or for more psychotherapy. But if they are saying it's a hash, then it creates the impression like they have dealt with it, you know?
Yeah.
So that's a sad bit for me.
Okay, I'll go straight into messages because we have quite a few coming through. Posh says, leave them. They just accepted your marriage so that the world will not notice what their sons have been doing. That's wickedness. Frank says, unborn child. Stay there and be thinking about the unborn child. God has exposed him for you to flee, and you're thinking about the unborn child. My sister, it's a very difficult situation, but if I were you, dear, I'll leave this marriage. I can't stay with someone who has been gay his entire life. Your shoulders are too fragile to carry this cross. Doreen says, I believe you haven't told your parents yet. You haven't told your parents yet because his mom is pleading with you. But you know your husband and his brother can kill you. Please leave the house for some time. Think through things. If you really want to stay because of perhaps your baby, or just decide to call for a divorce. I wish you all the best, says Doreen. Foster says, my dear, stay. Focus on how to help him get over the act. It's not easy, but for the sake of your marriage vows and the unborn child, go through this thick cloud with him, and he will forever be grateful to you. Benedicta says, if you love your unborn child, flee before your husband starts sleeping with him too when you give birth. Limba says, unborn child becomes the issue now in such a situation. But for me, I'll advise you to leave the marriage and not stay. But for your unborn child, if you think you can take care of both of you before finding another man, then that's okay. God led you to such a revelation because he loves you, so do not sit to partake in curses. Bright says, what? Sex with his own brother? I mean, we all have skeletons, but this is absurd. I'm in total shock. This situation isn't salvageable. There's an unborn child involved, so think carefully whether you want your child to grow up in such an environment and take a final decision. Joe says, I think you should leave. If he can do this with his younger brother, he can do it to his children. You will never be able to leave your kids with him and have peace of mind. Fatuk says his family was very much aware, and it was wickedness on their side for not letting you know when you were getting married. They knew that he used to do this with his brother and still allowed the brother to stay in the same house with him. This is not marriage. Brown says, how sure are you that it's only the brother that he sleeps with? This is difficult. Even if the brother leaves the house, there'll always be the unsettling thought at the back of your mind that he may be doing it with his friends. You both need to go for counseling. I'll read a few more. Godwin says, my dear, even if you leave him, you can never forget about this, which means you'll forever be hurt, mostly when you remember the course of your broken marriage, or whenever your little child who's unborn misbehaves. The only advice to you is to stay by him, be his monitor, go for continuous counseling, and above all, prayers. But that's if, and I repeat, if he's willing to change. And finally, Mercy says, leave right away. Would the parents have allowed him to stay with you if you were the one doing that? A man who shamelessly sleeps with his own brother can even sleep with his son. Then those are a few of your messages. It's Sister on City TV and City FM. We will go for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Don't just watch, be wowed. Get fired up. Get down, catch feels, drop the mic, choose to be moved, on the move, hot spot, any spot, enjoy a new view, walk in another shoes, power heels, paws, and feet. Take your stories to the streets. Hold court with court queens, ice queens, and yas queens. Fly away, come back home, and enjoy online entertainment on any screen. Sign up at showmax.com and change the way you watch.
Just not ready yet. I want to wait a little before getting pregnant again.
Stop worrying and live free. No matter who you are, Lydia has a contraceptive just for you. Choose the Lydia Daily Contraceptive Pill with iron as your regular contraceptive, or the Lydia IUD, a non-hormonal contraceptive for long-term pregnancy prevention. Contact the Lydia Contact Center and let us help you decide how to live free. With Lydia, you truly decide.
Welcome back. Sister, City FM, City TV. We are live. Absolutely. Send a WhatsApp, 054-998-6996. Let's hear your opinions on the messages that you've heard today, and even on the submissions. Someone out there needs your help and your counsel. I'll go into another message from Abba in Wager. She says, I accepted a proposal of a guy who is 12 years older than me, and after about a month, he's asking us to face reality and just be friends. His excuse is that he's feeling the pressure to get married soon, while I still have more years ahead of me before I get married. We spoke about this age issues on several occasions before he officially proposed, so I'm wondering why he's using that as an excuse now. I feel there's more to it, but he says that's the only reason. Please help me figure this out. Thank you, and God bless. Olivia, let me come to you. What do you think?
I'm just wondering, you know, like, so you guys, it's just been a month, and now he's saying that he's too old, so he's getting too much pressure, so you guys shouldn't get married, or like, what I'm trying to figure out what his problem is. Now it's making me imagine all sorts of things, like, after you guys spoke, everything was okay. I'm wondering whether something happened. Have you been intimate with him? I don't understand why he's chickening out right now. You see, because it's sounding like, I don't know, first and foremost, he said he's old, they're 12 years older than you are, which wasn't a problem. Everything was fine. And, you know, all of a sudden, he wants you guys to be friends. Like, why does he just want you guys to be friends after a month? Wasn't he the same person who proposed? Did something happen after you guys proposed? Is it like sort of his catchphrase to get what he wants? Like, for me, it's not really adding up. I don't know. Maybe somebody else can say something. I don't know, Jess. Because I'm trying to sort of wrap my head around why this guy was all over you. He was excited. Let's get married. Yes, you guys knew it was 12 years age difference. Now, all of a sudden, he wants you guys to be friends after a month of his so-called proposal.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he probably had what he wanted for. You know how sometimes some men, not all men, some men can, you know, they'll buy you flowers, they'll kiss your toes, they'll do this, they'll do that. But once they get what they want, it's like, you know, they're not interested. It just baffles me as to why, within a very short span, after a month, he's like, you guys should face reality and be friends. And for me, that line, if he used those exact words and didn't give you a tangible reason as to why you guys should break up, I feel like this guy is shady. I'm sorry that you had to go through it, but that's reality. But maybe next time, I don't know, don't give it up too quickly. That's just me, because it's not adding up. I don't see what other reason would be as to why he wouldn't want to proceed with the relationship.
Okay, so 12 years older, he says he's getting pressure to get married, and it's obvious that probably this girl that he's with, you know, is not ready. Maybe through their conversations and stuff like that, he's realized. Reason why he's taking that decision. I don't know what you think.
Makes sense. I would have wanted to know what his age was.
Right.
If he's 30 and she's 18, it will make sense.
Yes.
You know. But if he's maybe, let's see, if he's 40,
and she's 20, 8?
That's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's okay. So, like, it would be hard to really give advice because of, you know, I'm not sure of the age.
Details.
But a month, usually, I always say that when you meet somebody, you don't just jump straight into getting so serious. Unless, Charlie, some, I don't know, extreme case, people meet within a week, they are married and they are still together after 50 years. That one there is like, Charlie, it's right.
Yeah,
right. But on a normal, like, you know, like, you should get to date a bit. You know, get to know where you are at. Like, trust the process, you know, see how it's going. And then if you realize, okay, you know, like we're a bit compatible, we are communicating well, you know, there's chemistry and stuff like that. Then maybe based on, I'm not saying it has to be like that every time,
right?
But it's always good to make sure that you don't go in blind. You know, you have to test the waters before you leap. So then before you realize, then before you can say, okay, maybe let's take it serious. So what I don't understand is, did he propose to her like officially, should we get married? And then now came and said,
I think it was more like a proposal to enter a relationship with him. Yeah.
So I think within a month, if he feels, Charlie, I mean, like you said, from the conversation, maybe you realize it's not working out. Right. Also, maybe there are other things he's not, you know, gelling with her on. Yeah. So he just has to come out and say, hey, I'm getting pressure from somewhere. Sometimes people can't really just come out and tell you, you know, it's not going anywhere. So it could be that he's realized that it's not going to go anywhere.
So he's actually doing her a favor.
Yeah, a month is nothing to be so serious about.
Okay.
I mean, like with somebody. So I feel it's okay for her to just, you know, back off. Because a month, I mean, what happened?
Right. Let me bring in Rosina because we're actually out of time. Rosie, I'll give you a minute. Let me hear your thoughts on this one.
Okay, quick one. The man has been eyeing you for a long time and wanted to hit it. So he told you everything possible to make you feel at ease. And then once he hits the thing, he realized that it wasn't even as much as he expected. It didn't wow him. You know, see the tin top. That'd be the whole story. And after 1 month, he's giving you excuses about him having pressure. In this Ghana, who gives men pressure to get married? That kind of serious pressure that they can't think. And like Gail said, if she had included her age, or at least the man's age, then we would have known what the age gap we are talking about. But in my opinion, a woman who is able to accept a proposal from a man and after a month is all into it, the only reason why she's all into it is because she's been intimate. Because if she wasn't intimate with the man, she would have just said, oh, okay, fine. If you don't want it, I'm gone.
Right.
And sometimes that's the reason why abstinence, forget about the biblical angles, forget about the whole moral issue. Sometimes what happens is that abstinence makes you value the person for who they really are. You get to know the person for who they really are without the noise of intimacy.
Right.
So, my dear, you were just used small. Learn a lesson from it. Next time, I'll join Olivia and say, don't drop your necklace.
Yeah.
At least too early.
I agree. Ladies, thank you so much for your contributions and for making time to be on Sister. Gail, thanks for joining me in the studio.
Thanks for having me.
It's nice not to be lonely in here, you know. Actually have someone.
I'm glad.
Yeah. So, for those of you listening and watching, thanks for your audience as well. We'll be back same time tomorrow. No, not tomorrow, next week, with another exciting edition of Sister. Remember, the show is sponsored by Vodafone. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.
Sister is sponsored by Lydia Contraceptive. With Lydia, you truly decide.